Good evening. Welcome to Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community, the news you can trust, and events that move and celebrate our very own South Asian community. I'm Nidhi Kathuria, coming to you from our ITV Gold studio in New Jersey. In the news this evening, Indian politician Vijay Jolly in an exclusive interview at ITV Gold. G20 delegates Sherpas try their hands on pottery, dance to folk Rajasthani beats. Jaipuri jackets to Rajasthani turbans, G20 delegates get Indian experience. Chai Special with Zakir Khan from Tathastu now streaming on Prime Video India. Stay with us on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community for news in detail right after this short break. Member of the National Executive Committee of the BJP, Mr. Vijay Jolly, spoke to me exclusively on his party, Indian democracy and Indian politics. The whole interview will soon be available on ITV Gold. For now, watch the excerpts. So the news that came in today, AAP managed a prestige win and the BJP did not lose as badly as was predicted. AAP has won 134 seats, 8 above the majority in a House of 250 in the MCD elections. What went wrong with BJP?
You see, elections is a people's viewpoint on the current state of affairs. I would very humbly admit we lost and the Aam Aadmi Party won 134 seats out of 250. We were relegated to the two-figure mark in the capital, whereby we had a three-figure in the last MCD polls. Certainly, people chose the best.
Very nice.
And we faltered somewhere. We need to introspect. It's the people's confidence at the grassroots level which needs to be translated into a confidence vote in favor of the ruling party. We lost, they won. I can only say and wish Aam Aadmi Party the best, but we reserve a right to oppose their politics of rumor mongering, speaking lies, giving people freebies. My hitch on the whole process is the Aam Aadmi Party led by Arvind Kejriwal wants to turn Delhi into another Sri Lanka man-made crisis. If you promise the people free electricity, free water, people are bound to get attracted for some time. But I'm sure.
So this is what happened in Delhi. You were saying they were promised free electricity and they were given free electricity and free water and no bills had to be paid. Was it for some class or middle class, lower middle class? How did it go? Was there a quota for that?
You see, the freebies announced in any democracy are just distributing free toffees to the people. Gone is those socialist times when the state would sponsor everything. People have to work for it.
Of course.
People have to pay for the facilities what are given to you by the government entities, whether it is good roads, whether it is a good civic system, whether it is the drinking water which you drink, or the electricity which you burn to read in the middle of the night. And if these public utilities are offered to you as freebies, you are putting the state exchequer at a great loss.
True.
And that loss ultimately has to be borne by the people itself.
Yes.
We are opposed to that form of government.
Yes, of course.
You give the best, you try to address the people's problem, but at the same time,
They
make
have to pay
people
their bills.
to pay for it.
Of course. So since you came into politics, what kind of changes have you seen in the lives of common people?
You see, the problems of the common people have remained. They don't want freebies. They only want good facilities, facilities of communication, facilities of good transportation, facilities of good peaceful environment, a pakka road, a 24/7 free, not free, but consistent supply of water and electricity. But I still see people struggling in various parts of the capital still, despite the best promises of the Aam Aadmi Party in the
But
last
we're not talking
three.
about Delhi, we're talking about the India as the whole, and
You
your
see,
government is in the
India,
center.
India as a whole has prospered. India is no more a nation of snake charmers. I remember the time I have been traveling all over the globe for the past 38 years. And previously, when I used to give my passport at an immigration counter in Kenya or in Uganda or in Nepal or in Bhutan or in United States, the immigration officer would ask me, which country do you belong? The moment I would say, I belong to India, he would grin his face, and with a grin on his face, he would take my passport. But I've seen the changing scenario. Now, after 2014, when I give my passport to an immigration officer in any part of the world, 7 continents, and the moment they ask me, which country are you from? I say India. They say progressive India, developed India, Modi's India. This is a big gradual change which I have experienced after visiting the globe over, not in one continent, but in all the 7 continents of the world.
But it will be always Gandhi's India. You know, he was the
Certainly,
messenger
he
of...
was the father of the nation.
Yes.
He was the mentor of the Indian politics. He was the mentor of the great freedom struggle, which all hue and cry, of all mindsets, they all fought together under his peaceful, non-violent movement in India,
Yes.
through which we could put the Britishers away and have the independence in our own hand for a free will of Indian people's destiny to come forward through different 5 years electoral process, which could not happen in Pakistan, our breakaway part, which has always had martial laws, the military regimes, and also the biggest emanator of terrorism across the border into the peaceful domains of India. But India has remained strong, whether it is the Hindus or the Muslims or the Christians or the Sikhs or the Jains or the Buddhists. They have all contributed with their might to make India strong. And this is the reason why Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Bharatiya Janata Party, under the able leadership of Nitin Gadkari, of Rajnath Singh, of Amit Shah, and the current BJP President Mr. J.P. Nadda, have got the BJP in a trim position whereby we could win the 2014 election and win again the 2019 election. And we are ready to sweep the next 2024 national elections in Republic of India under the leadership of Mr. Narendra Modi and the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Since the mention of Pakistan came, who do you think is the bigger threat? Is it Pakistan or China?
You see, for India, no one is a threat. It was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the BJP leader and the then Prime Minister of India, who undertook a Lahore bus yatra from Delhi in quest for peace. It was again Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister who travelled to Lahore a few years ago, greeting the then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. So India has always believed in befriending its hostile neighbors. But if
China?
Dhoklam happens,
Yeah.
but if aggression into the Indian territory in the northeast, or particularly in Ladakh, happens from the Chinese side, India has shown to the world as well as to China that Indian political leadership, with its firm determination, is able to combat our hostile neighbors. When the Pakistan-led terrorists had affected a big terror strike in India before the 2019 elections, it was the Indian government's strong political will under the present Prime Minister Mr. Modi undertook the Balakot airstrikes, smashing the terrorist outfits and the terrorist camps in the Pakistan soil. This shows India still is in quest for having friendly relations with its immediate neighbors. There are no permanent enemies. There are no permanent friends in the global politics. It is always the concept, what suits India the best, what is in national interest. India will always keep on doing, whether it is in a neighborhood or whether in its interaction with the Western friends and Western powers or at the United Nations. India has always stood its ground firm, and more so ever under the able leadership of my Prime Minister, Mr. Modi.
G20 Sherpas and delegates are surely enjoying their time in picturesque Rajasthan. The delegates were seen trying out various rural activities in Udaipur, whether it's dancing to traditional Rajasthani beats, flying kites, and even trying their hands on pottery. G20 delegates also paid a visit to Udaipur's iconic Kumbhalgarh fort. Take a look.
It's out of this world. It is fantastic.
I am mesmerized by it. It's like it has been all over our expectations.
I love this beautiful architecture. This fort is just incredible.
It was a very wet experience. And then the first one I did, it didn't work out. I don't know whether you saw that, but it didn't work out. But the second one is very beautiful.
And how are you liking the hospitality and the tradition of Indian culture?
It's out of this world. It is fantastic. I mean, our experience here is just superb. It could not be better.
Have you ever been to India before?
No, this is my first time. I've traveled actually quite a lot, but this is my first time to India, and it's been a spectacular experience.
And what will you say on the meetings of the G20?
Super interesting. I think like a very strong Indian presidency, really a good, strong program, not just a cultural program, but also the substantive program.
How did you like the Indian tradition and culture that you saw here in Udaipur?
I am mesmerized by it. It's like it has been all over our expectations.
What will you say on Indian food and hospitality?
Indian food is very similar to Mexican food in a lot of ways. It's very rich and it's very diverse. So I am enjoying every part of it. And
how did the deliberations went?
The deliberations went very well. We have a lot of expectations of the Indian presidency. They are very aligned with the emerging markets and developing countries. So we are very excited about what is coming.
Amazing sighting that we explore today, and we understand that India is a great country with rich heritage, cultural heritage. Luckily, that in this first Shepherds meeting, we do have an agenda item of culture. We think that the culture protection is very important, not only for the culture itself, but also for the world development, that it will create jobs, create more development. I think that's very important. So we will join our Indian host to further the discussion on this, and in order to protected all the world heritages, including this wonderful one.
I love this beautiful architecture. This fort is just incredible that it was built all those years ago when it would have been very difficult to put something like this together. And it's very striking, and it's good that we came out here to see this because, it teaches us a lot about, ancient civilizations, including Indian civilization. So it's quite wonderful and eye-opening.
G20 delegates experienced Rajasthan in traditional Indian jackets, Rajasthani turbans and stoles at the first Sherpa meeting of India's G20 presidency in Udaipur. Delegates toured Manik Chowk in Udaipur, donned traditional Rajasthani attire and were treated to an immersive Indian experience. Watch the video.
Rajasthani, and now even my look is Rajasthani, so feel home.
It's magnificent. I don't think I've ever been looking so good in my entire life.
Food today we had, it was the tastes were wonderful. I don't have anything like that in my country.
It's a good idea when we transform the G20, not only the formal meeting, but also a festive.
I mean, my heart was already beating Rajasthani, and now even my look is Rajasthani, so feel home. It's a great pleasure to be here, and it's fantastic to experience the culture of Rajasthan.
This is the Rajasthani attire, Indian culture. What are you liking about that?
Why,
How are you feeling now?
it's magnificent. I don't think I've ever been looking so good in my entire life.
And how are you feeling in Udaipur, in India?
Oh, it's a magnificent place, and the meetings have begun in a very productive way under the excellent leadership of your government.
Well, I'm feeling very well. It's a magical event today. We had a very good meeting to start in the morning. We already addressed a lot of topics, but this is of course a part for a little bit of relaxation. And it's great to see this, and it's also very warm. I must say, if you live in this country and you have this very warm attire, I'm really respecting your.
What will you say on this Indian culture and tradition?
Oh, I've not experienced it just one day, but what I've seen for the food, the music yesterday evening, which was very magical, exceptional, and the food today we had, it was the tastes were wonderful. I don't have anything like that in my country.
Tathastu starts off with a recap of moments from Zakir's life. Starting from his early school days, the performance is a ride where the audience gets a peek at the family he was born in, the characters he grew closest to, and his young years bloated with aspirations of becoming an RJ. He goes on to share a few personal learnings on stage as he tries to make sense of his journey thus far. Take a look.
तो 17 नवंबर 2008 को पापा को ट्रेन में बैठाकर दिल्ली से इंदौर के लिए मैं जब वापस अपने रूम पर आया तो चाय की तलब लगी, सोचा एक कप चाय पी लेते हैं, तो चाय मंगाई। तो तब पहली बार एहसास हुआ कि ये मेरी पहली जिंदगी की अकेली चाय थी। मैंने उसके पहले कभी भी चाय ना अकेले नहीं पी थी। हम बड़े परिवार से भी आते हैं, बहुत दोस्त भी हैं हमेशा, तो चाय जो है एक बड़ी सोशल एक्टिविटी की तरह ली हमने। हमारे घर में चला नहीं कि एक छोटा बच्चा भी उठ जाता ना तो दोबारा से चाय बनती है सबके लिए। उसके लिए एक शेर भी लिखा था एक बार कि धूप आते ही छत से उतरकर खाट नीम के नीचे लग जाए, कि धूप आते ही छत से उतरकर खाट नीम के नीचे लग जाए, चाय बने सबके लिए फिर से, चाहे कोई बच्चा ही जग जाए। हमारे घर का एक संस्कार है कि कभी भी चाय का कप जो है वो भरा नहीं छोड़ते, खत्म करते हैं कि चाय तो खत्म करो यार कम से कम। ऐसे ही जैसे चाय पूरी खत्म करनी होती, वैसे मेरी गुजारिश है आपसे कि जब तथास्तु आप अपने परिवार के साथ देखें तो उसे एक बैठक में पूरा खत्म करें। तो अगर आप परिवार के साथ हैं तो उनके साथ देखिए, और अगर अकेले हैं कहीं पे, कोई साथ नहीं है, तो मुझे बड़ा भाई या छोटा भाई मानकर मेरे साथ देखिएगा। चाय और तथास्तु एक साथ।
Continuing with the news and entertainment on ITV Gold, watch Shah Rukh Khan, Mahima Chaudhary, Apurva Agnihotri and Amrish Puri in Pardes this Friday in the family movie night at 8:30 p.m. EST. Saturday 1 p.m. EST is your time with the superstars. Enjoy Ranbir Kapoor in Besharam, directed by Abhinav Kashyap. Reserve your Sunday at 3 p.m. EST with Subhash Ghai's blockbuster Khalnayak, starring Madhuri Dixit, Jackie Shroff and Sanjay Dutt. And that's a wrap on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community tonight. Send us your suggestions and community news that you would like us to cover for a print and television coverage at events@itvgold.com. Follow us on our Facebook handle at ITV Gold, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and pick up a free copy of Desi Talk if you're in the Tri-State or in the Chicago area for community news, entertainment, and events in the U.S. You can also read the News India Times newspaper online at www.newsindiatimes.com or subscribe to the hard copy by calling 212-675-7515. This is Nidhi Kathuria signing off.